Chapter 23 of Angel Food for Jack and Jill. Little Talks to Little Folks by Reverend Gerald T. Brennan. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Chapter 23 The Girl Who Went Calling. Last week there was plenty of excitement in one of our nearby towns. What happened? Well, a little 6-year-old girl caused all the excitement. Of course, little Elizabeth Brush didn't mean to do any harm, but she certainly made her parents and friends suffer. Last Tuesday, while Elizabeth's mother was preparing supper, the little girl went out into the yard to play. When supper was ready, Mrs. Brush called the girl, but the girl didn't answer. The mother went into the yard, but Elizabeth wasn't there. The mother called and called, but received no answer. Then the girl's mother and father hurried to the homes of neighbors, but no one had seen the little girl. Little Elizabeth Brush had disappeared. You can imagine how worried the parents were, and they thought some terrible thoughts. They wondered where Elizabeth had gone. Where was she? Why didn't the little girl come home? Finally, the girl's father called the police, and they promised to help. All the neighbors said they would help too. So it was decided that 2 persons would go down each street and stop at every house. In this way, every house in the town would be visited in a short time. If Elizabeth were in someone's house, she would surely be found. I might as well tell you now that the searchers visited every house in the town, but no one had seen Elizabeth. That was sad news for the girl's parents. They cried and sobbed and prayed to God to help them. While Mr. Brush was talking to friends outside his house, all of a sudden he heard music. He heard organ music, and the music was coming from the nearby church. The father knew that there were no services in the church, but he ran to the church as fast as he could. He hurried up the stairs where he found a man tuning and fixing the organ. Mr. Brush didn't have a chance to speak before the man at the organ asked him a question. "Are you looking for that little girl who is sitting down in the front seat?" The father turned quickly, and, sure enough, he saw a little Elizabeth sitting in the front seat of the church. Mr. Brush hurried down the steps, ran up the aisle, and picked up the girl in his arms. "Elizabeth," said the father excitedly, "we've been looking all over for you. We thought you were lost. What are you doing here?" "I ain't been lost, Daddy," answered the little girl. "I heard the music and I came to talk to Jesus." Little Elizabeth should have told her parents that she was going to the church. However, I think that all the worry and excitement must have made Jesus smile. You can be sure that Jesus was happy to see Elizabeth, because Jesus always likes to have little children visit him. Children, Jesus is here on our altar every day, and he is here all through the night. He waits and wishes that children would come and visit him. The more often children come to the church, the better Jesus likes it. He knows that children who come are his friends. He knows that children come because they love him. How often do you visit a church? How often do you visit Jesus? Oh, there are so many times when you could stop to see him. Most of you could stop every day. Yes, you could stop in the church on your way home from school. Of course, you come to church every Sunday, but Jesus wants to see you more often than once a week. When you visit Jesus, you don't have to stay in the church for a long time. If you stay for only a few minutes, Jesus will like it. Jesus knows that you are busy and that you like to play, but he does want you to give him a little time. There are so many things that you want for your family, for your friends, and for yourself. When you visit Jesus, ask him for all those things. Thank him, too, for being so good to you. Thank him for your parents and friends. Thank him for your health and for helping you with your work and school. Remember, Jesus will hear everything you say. Children, don't neglect Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. Visit him often. Don't stay away from your best friend. End of chapter 23.